Welcome to Module 2 of our course, Profit, Growth, Wealth Solutions for Small Business, brought to you by smallbusinessplantoprofit.com. Now in this module we're going to take a detailed look at what we call the 5 steps to profit improvement. And what we're going to try and impress upon you here that it really only takes small changes to have, or small changes to your business processes to have a massive impact on your bottom line profit. You don't need to make massive changes to have a massive impact on profit, and you'll see that as we go through this second module. So we're right in the profit improvement element of our 3-step process, our profit to growth to wealth process. We're very much looking at profit improvement here in this second module. So the 5 ways to increase the profit in your business. You need to look at ways to increase your customer numbers. Clearly, the more customers coming through, the more profit you're going to make. With those customers that are coming through, you need to find ways to increase the number of times they buy from you. As they come and buy from you, we need to increase the average sale value, so every sale transaction becomes worth more money to you, so we're increasing our top line sale value. We need to produce profits by increasing the margin, so every transaction we make, we want to be making higher gross margins, more profit on each transaction, not just turnover. We want to make bottom line profit on that. And perhaps we need to find some ways to reduce some costs in there as a way to improve our profit. Can I say from the outset, I'm not a big fan of stripping out costs in a business. There is certainly fat in any particular business, and there are certainly ways to be able to cut that down, but my experience has been that you're working around the margins on that. It only has a small impact on our bottom line. Certainly we need to be frugal, or we need to be conscious of what costs potentially we're wasting in our business, but it's not where I think you need to be prioritizing your time. So they're the 5 steps that we need to follow through. Increase the number of customers, increase the number of times they buy from you, increase the average sale value of each transaction, increase the profitability of that, and perhaps look at reducing some overheads within the business as well. And as I said at the introduction of this second module, small changes can lead to massive improvements in that bottom line. Let me just show you what I mean on this one. Here's a table that just is here to illustrate what we can find if we make some 5% improvements in those key profit drivers in the business. Now let me just step you through this one, and then we'll have a look at some detail as to perhaps how these things can be achieved. So at the first step, as we said, we need to try and increase the number of customers that are coming through our business. So I'm working on a particular business that in their base year they have 800 customers coming through 6 times a year, so every 2 months they come and make a purchase from this business. The average sale value as they come through we've calculated to be, say, $500. So multiplied all of that up, we've got a gross sales figure of about $2.4 million. Let's say they're making a profit margin of 50% on every sale that they make, so we're making a gross profit of $1.2 million on that level of turnover. Let's say the overheads in running this particular business are $800,000. So as a result, this business at the moment is generating a net profit of $400,000. In this schedule, as we go through in some detail, what I want to show to you is that by making a 5% improvement in each of these profit drivers within this business can increase that profit from, say, $400,000 up to a whopping $700,000. So that's close to $300,000 increased bottom line profit to this particular business. That's a 75% increase in its bottom line profit, all through making only a 5% improvement in their key profit drivers. Let's look at that again. So a 5% improvement means instead of 800 customers, we've done a little bit of marketing and we can find a way to build that up to, say, 840 customers. So an extra 40 customers a year coming through the doors of this particular business. We use some marketing techniques to increase the number of times that these people buy from us from 6 times a year up to, say, 6.3 times a year. So a 5% improvement in the number of times each customer comes back and buys from us. Let's say we can find some ways to increase the average sale value from a $500 base now up to $525. Our turnover on that type of transaction would end up being, say, close to $2.8 million. Let's say we can find a way to increase our gross margins by 5%. So instead of a 50% gross margin, let's say we can now make a 52.5% gross margin. Our gross profit now in dollar terms is, say, $1.45 million. Our overheads, if we can find a way to cull those down a little bit, let's say we only strip $40,000 out of our overhead, so it's not a big impact in all of that. So what we find in the compounding of effect of making 5% improvements in each one of these key profit drivers can generate an extra $300,000 profit to the bottom line on this particular business. Now that's a massive improvement in profit by making what are really quite small improvements in the key profit drivers. Every business is different, and some of these 5% improvements may be difficult for your business to achieve. But in saying that, there are probably some of these key profit drivers that are very easy for you to achieve far in excess of a 5% improvement. So you might find that through good marketing or improved marketing, we can increase the number of customers, say, by 10% or 20% or even 50%. We might not have any ability to increase the number of times those customers buy from us. We might find that we are so tight on our margins because perhaps in a retail type business that perhaps we can't move the margins as far as we want to get. So every business is different, and you might find you might be able to make some 50% improvements here, some 5% improvements there, no improvements in certain other things. So your profit improvement potential may be a lot different to this particular business that we're looking at here. Every business has its own potential. Now, at the end of this course, we'll offer you the opportunity to make a donation towards the value you're receiving as part of this course, and any donation will receive a copy of this spreadsheet. So you will be able to input your own numbers in there as the base year and play around with what happens if I can increase my customers by 5%, 10%, 20%, and see what effect that has on your bottom line. Now, in doing this with my offline clients, it really opens some eyes. It shows that in a lot of cases where we were quite happy making the profit we're currently making, that in fact the potential or the profit potential in the business is far in excess of what that particular owner might have thought he was capable of achieving. And in this schedule here, we're showing that small improvements, a 5% improvement only, can make a massive improvement to the bottom line profit. In this case, 75% improvement. So that's huge. Let's have a look in a bit of detail. How do we go about doing this thing? So the first step to profit improvement was increasing the number of customers that comes through the door. Now this is a marketing exercise, and marketing is all about understanding what makes you different. What are your core differentiators? What are the products? What's the market segment? What is the niche that you're working on that can put you in a different place than where your competitors are? What is it that makes you attractive? How can you drive more customers to you? Once you understand what you've got to offer that will attract your customers, then it's about developing a strategic marketing plan around those core differentiators. Get the message out there to the right people at the right time in the right way, and those customers will come into your business. The important part of an entire marketing plan, and the bit that I think that is left out time and time again, is the systemization of that sales process. Once you understand how to convert a contact or a prospect into a customer and then into the sale, you need to be able to systemize that so it can be replicated, so that it can happen time and time and time again. And the system works without you driving it. So the business and whoever's working in that particular part of the business understands that we drive contacts and prospects in a certain way, and when they finally pick up the phone, or whether they make contact through the business, say through the web or wherever it might be, a system kicks into place that takes that particular prospect through the system. If they say no at a certain point, the system reacts in a certain way to go down another avenue. But you systemize it, you replicate that sales process time and time again. And in so doing, we're increasing the number of customers that are coming into your business. We're attracting new customers. Once we've got those customers on board, we need to find ways to make sure they continue to buy from us, that they come back for the second time and for the third time. We don't want one-off sales, we want repeat sales. How do we go about doing that? Well, basically, it's about servicing those customers in a fantastic way, providing awesome service, providing them a reason to come back to you. You need to nurture them, you need to create a relationship with those customers. Again, they need a reason to come back to you. My last point there, I think, is an interesting one. We actually have to ask them to come back to us. It sounds like common sense, but the number of times I see businesses that do not apply this particular thought process. We expect that if someone's bought from us once, they'll understand how great we are, and clearly they'll come back again. Well, perhaps they won't. Perhaps they don't. What we need to find ways to ask them. So we need them on mailing lists. We need to provide them with catalogues. We need to provide them with special offers, loyalty cards, whatever it might be. We need to find ways to really make them happy by providing that service and providing repeat opportunities for them to come back into the business and make another purchase from us. Lots of ways to increase the average sale value. The three that I've put up there are only the tip of the iceberg, but they're the traditional ones. So we look for ways to cross-sell. If someone comes in and buys a particular product, is there a related product that we can sell them in addition to what they're buying? If we're selling mattresses in a bedding company, can we try and sell them the Manchester and the pillows that go alongside that first purchase? So it's about trying to find complementary products there that we can try and sell as part of that transaction or the sale transaction that they've originally come in to look at. Upselling, all about having category A, B, C or gold, silver, bronze type products. So if someone comes in and they're ready to buy, in this case, say a bed of a certain quality, where's our sales process? Where's our system there that tries to encourage or give an opportunity for those guys to upgrade to a higher value product? Let me just catch myself there. It doesn't actually have to be a higher value product. We might find we actually have a product for the same sale price, but one that we make a higher gross margin on, one that is more profitable if we make that sale. We need to understand which of our products are more profitable than the others, and our upselling might actually be that we don't make more money on the top line sale value. Where we make our money is in the profitability. The customer doesn't know that. You're selling them the idea that they're getting a much better deal, a higher quality outfit, but in fact you're making higher bottom line profit as a result of that sale. Bundling of products is all about trying to attach low margin products to high margin products, or products that aren't selling so well, so perhaps we're ready to discount them, bundle them up with a better selling product as a way to move them on, but to increase that average sale value across the board. So plenty of ways, not just these three, there's plenty of ways that we can increase the average sale value for each customer that comes in. The fourth way, or the fourth step to the profit improvement model, is about increasing the margins, and we'll talk more about this in module 3, where we'll look at driving operational efficiencies within a business. But one of the messages I would like to get to you at the moment is to avoid discounting wherever you possibly can. There are other modules that we'll talk about in different courses, but if you have a look at those numbers, if you are prepared to discount your sales price on a particular product, you need to understand what volume increase you need to generate as a result of that discount to come up with the same profit figure. I think all small business owners should be allergic to the idea of discounting your price. It should be the absolutely last system or last tactic that you put in place in running your business. The last place you want to be is competing on price. You don't want to be discounting unless you absolutely have to. And sometimes you have to do that. You have stock that you can't move in any other way, so far better to discount it, to get it off your books, to realise the cash to invest into other products that are going to sell. We'll talk, as I say, we'll talk about operational efficiencies in module 3, but for now, just that message that I want to get across on discounting. The final one, reducing overheads, reducing costs. Again, we'll talk about operational efficiencies in the next module, and I reiterate again my point that I think that stripping savings out of overheads, stripping costs out of overheads, sometimes is counterproductive to running an effective business, and we need to be a little bit careful about doing that. The message I would like to give here, though, is that we need to learn the lean lessons from the global financial crisis. So it's not a misspelt word there with lean. We've all come through the global financial crisis over the last few years, and what that has taught us to do is to be able to really question every cost that's coming into the business. When times were good, we're making lots of profit, it didn't really matter to us if we got a higher luxury car than we would normally get, or we got a better quality computer or a better quality photocopier. If our telecommunications supplier decided to up their prices or change their packages, yeah, it irked us, but we didn't do too much about it as a general rule. But once the profitability got stripped out of the business and we really started to bleed cash and hurt, then all of a sudden we found the backbone to strip costs out of a business. Now we need to remember that feeling, and we need to continue to apply it. So we don't need to be a Scrooge about life, but we need to question the costs that are coming in to make sure that we're not wasting money as a result of doing all of that. So in summary then, for this module 2, the 5 steps to profit improvement, it's about remembering this chart. It's about the profit improvement process, the fact that very small changes can have massive impacts on your bottom line. In this example, 5% improvements across each of the key profit drivers in this business generated a 75% increase in its bottom line profit. Your business will be different. I can't guarantee that you will have the same result as this base business that I've used here. You may well have a far better result, and your movements may not be 5%, they'll vary across each one of those drivers. But the concept we're trying to get to you here is understand these profit drivers, understand the effect of small changes, and let's try and find a way strategically to make those changes within your business. Alright then, so that's the end of Module 2, talking about the steps to profit improvement. Module 3, we're going to concentrate on those operational efficiencies. We're going to look at the 7 deadly wastes that exist within every business.